سلام دوستان گرامی، از کانال زبان.studio با شما هستم. داستان دیموس دنجروز گیم از ریچارد کانال رو که تا چندین پاراگراف رو کار کردیم به همراه ترجمه در اینجا قصد داریم بدون ترجمه کار کنیم، یعنی یک بار از اول تا اون بخشی یا تا اون قسمت رو که ما کار کردیم تا اونجا رو به صورت بدون وقفه یا یک دست بخونیم ما. خب شروع میکنیم دوستان عزیز. The most dangerous game by Richard Connell. Off there to the right, somewhere is a large island, said Whitney. It's rather a mystery. What island is it? Rainsford asked. The old charts call it Ship Trap Island, Whitney replied. A suggestive name, isn't it? Sailors have a curious dread of the place. I don't know why. Some superstition. Can't see it, remarked Rainsford, trying to peer through the dank tropical night that was palpable as it pressed its thick, warm blackness in upon the yachts. You have good eyes, said Whitney with a laugh, and I have seen you pick off a moose moving in a brown-fall bush at 400 yards, but even you can't see 4 miles or so through a moonless Caribbean night. No, 4 yards, admitted Rainsford. Ah, it's like moist black velvet. It will be light enough in Rio, promised Whitney. We should make it in a few days. I hope the Jaguar guns have come from Purtis. We should have some good hunting up the Amazon. Great sport, hunting. The best sport in the world, agreed Rainsford. For the hunters, amended Whitney, not for the Jaguar. Don't talk rot, Whitney, said Rainsford. You're a big game hunter, not a philosopher. Who cares how a Jaguar feels? Perhaps the Jaguar does, observed Whitney, but they have no understanding. Even so, I rather think they understand one thing, fear, the fear of pain and the fear of death. Nonsense, laughed Rainsford. This hot weather is making you soft, Whitney. Be a realist. The world is made up of 2 classes, the hunters and the hunties. Luckily, you and I are hunters. Do you think we have passed that island yet? I can't tell in the dark. I hope so. Why? Asked Rainsford. The place has a reputation, a bad one. Cannibals, suggested Rainsford. Hardly. Even cannibals wouldn't live in such a god-forsaken place. But it's gotten into cellar lore somehow. Didn't you notice that the crew's nerves seem a bit jumpy today? They were a bit strange, now you mention it. Even Captain Nelson, yes, even the tough-minded old suit who would go up to the devil himself and ask him for a light. Those fishy blue eyes held a look I never saw there before. All I could get out of him was, this place has an evil name among seafaring men, sir. Then he said to me very gravely, don't you feel anything? As if the air about us was actually poisonous. Now you mustn't laugh when I tell you this. I did feel something like a sudden chill. There was no breeze. The sea was as flat as a flat glass window. We were driving near the island then. What I felt was a mental chill, a sort of sudden dread. Pure imagination, said Rainsford. One superstitious sailor contained the whole ship's company with his fear. Maybe, but sometimes I think sailors have an extra sense that tells them when they are in danger. Sometimes I think evil is a tangible thing with the wavelengths just as sound and light have. An evil place can, so to speak, broadcast vibrations of evil. Anyhow, I'm glad you are getting out of this zone. Well, I think I will turn in now, Rainsford. I'm not sleepy, said Rainsford. I'm going to smoke another pipe up on the after deck. Good night, then, Rainsford. See you at breakfast. Right. Good night, Whitney. There was no sound in the night as Rainsford sat there but the muffled throb of the engine that drove the yacht swiftly through the darkness, and the swish and the ripple of the wash of the propeller. Rainsford, reclining in his steamer chair, indolently puffed on his favorite briar. The sensuous drowsiness of the night was on him. It's so dark, he thought, that I could sleep without closing my eyes. The night would be my eyelids. An abrupt sound startled him. Off to the right, he heard it, and his ears, expert in such matters, could not be mistaken. Again he heard the sound, and again, somewhere, off in the blackness, someone had fired a gun 3 times. Rainsford sprang up and moved quickly to the rail, mystified. He strained his eyes in the direction from which the reports had come, but it was like trying to see through a blanket. He leapt up on the rail and balanced himself there to get greater elevation. His pipe, striking a rope, was knocked from his mouth. He lunged for it. A short hoarse cry came from his lips as he realized he had reached too far and had lost his balance. The cry was pinched off short as the blood-warm waters of the Caribbean Sea dozed over his head. He struggled up to the surface and tried to cry out, but the wash from the speeding yacht slapped him in the face, and the salt water in his open mouth made him gag and strangle. Desperately he struck out with strong strokes after the receding lights of the yacht, but he stopped before he had swum 50 feet. A certain cool-headedness had come to him. It was not the first time he had been in a tight place. There was a chance that his cries could be heard by someone aboard the yacht, but that chance was slender and grew more slender as the yacht raced on. He wrestled himself out of his clothes and shouted with all his power. The lights of the yacht became faint and ever vanishing fireflies. Then they were blotted out entirely by the night. Rainsford remembered the shots that had come from the right, and doggedly he swam in that direction, swimming with slow, deliberate strokes, conserving his strength. For a seemingly endless time he fought the sea. He began to count his strokes. He could do possibly 100 more, and then Rainsford heard a sound. It came out of the darkness. A high, screaming sound, the sound of an animal in an extremity of anguish and terror. He did not recognize the animal that made the sound. He did not try to. With fresh vitality he swam toward the sound. He heard it again. Then it was cut short by another noise, crisp, staccato. Pistol shot, muttered Rainsford, swimming on. خب دوستان عزیز، اینجا ما به پایان این درس رسیدیم. یعنی تا اینجا رو ما کار کردیم. از این بعد هر 4 5 یا 6 درسی رو که کار کردیم یک بار به صورت کلی همه رو میذارم تا بتونید ازشون به راحتی استفاده کنید و مفید واقع بشه. تا درس بعدی شما را به خدای بزرگ میسپارم. روز و روزگارتان خوش.